He's sitting here, he's, I think, 106 yards to become the all-time leading receiver here at Boise State. And we've asked so much, about 106 short.
Good, I didn't even know that.
Just what he's been able to do this year. I know we talked to him a little bit about moving around a little bit more this year, but he's still been a little bit even more potent this year than even last year, it seems like.
Yeah, Thomas comes to practice every day. He practices hard. He comes in, he studies film, he works at it, even on his days off. And that's a tribute to him. And those guys in the room, they push Tom, the Cedric Wilsons, the Chaz Andersons, even the A. Killian Butlers, Sean Monster. I mean, those guys, they come out to practice, they have good energy, they have fun. And he's a pro about it. He understands he knows when to clock in and when to clock out, and when he's on the job, he gives it his all.
I find one of the funniest things about him is I've heard too many stories where people are like, "Oh, that's Thomas Sperbeck." They're just like, it's like it seems like everyone just kind of underestimates him when they see him out of pads. They're just like, that guy. But
yeah, that's Thomas. Yeah, that's Thomas. No, Thomas is, he can be conceiving a little bit. He's sneaky, isn't he? No, he's, Thomas is, off the field, he's kind of quiet, but he's got a good sense of humor. He's got a good personality. He knows when to crack jokes and when to be serious.
With him, I kind of go back to the softball game, and he's in there and he's taking BP, and he's like asking Joey for tips and stuff. I was just curious. I mean, he's clearly a competitor. Do you have like a memorable story or a funny kind of off the wall story about how or when he competes?
I don't have any stories on the top of my mind, but I got plenty of them, I'm sure. I just got to sit down and think about it. But every day is fun. It's a pleasure to be around Thomas every day. It's a pleasure to be able to coach him. The last 3 years, and he deserves nothing but success, and he puts in work though. You know how it is, man. You put in the work, and success follows. And and through the time, in the last 3 years, he's had his low moments too, just like anybody else, and he doesn't get down about them. He comes back as a competitor, and he makes the corrections, and he knows how to self-correct himself, and I think that's big.
For a guy like him, I mean, you talk about target to catch ratio. I mean, have you been around a guy that has a target to catch ratio that's bordering on as high as his is?
I honestly don't even know what his target to catch ratio is, but I can imagine it is probably pretty high. But it's like he does that every day. You know what I mean? He does it. I mean, we chart targets and catches and drops in practice, and his is always usually the highest. He does it in practice.
I've been asked some of the guys who weren't here 10 years ago about that first Fiesta Bowl. Do you remember watching it, and what was kind of your memories from when you first saw it?
Of course I remember watching it. I had some good friends on the staff here at that time, and obviously you remember the hook and ladder play, and then the Statue of Liberty play, and those were the big plays, but this program they built up to that. You know what I mean? They were always Boise prior to that. They were able to get on that stage and showcase their talent, and showcase being efficient offensively and playing good defense, being blue collar, and I always admired that about this program.